If you're struggling to decide whether you should buy a League of Legends Worlds final ticket, look no further. In this video, I will share my experience at the Worlds 2024 finals, covering everything from the fan fest to the end of the event. I'll show you some of the merchandise that I brought, do an unboxing, and explain how I bought my ticket for 10 times the original cost, sharing with you some of the tips and tricks throughout the whole video. And by the end of the video, I'll leave it up to you to decide whether it is worth spending 10 times the price just to buy the Worlds Finals ticket. Now, before I begin, here's a disclaimer. This is my personal experience at the Worlds 2024 finals, and your experience and situation might be different. So take this with a grain of salt. Now, FanFest is a free event, and this event, it lasts for 3 days. However, since I only landed a day before the event, I went only on the final day. So usually the event is actually close to the finals venue, which is in this case right outside the O2. There are sponsor booths, meet and greets, a merchandise area, and places where you can take photos like the Viego sword activation and even the trophy carrier from Mercedes-Benz. As you can see, since my Airbnb is right across the river from the O2 arena, I went early with my Airbnb roommates, whom I just met that morning. So I actually found out that they were going to the finals, so shout out to Ivan and Valentin. It was definitely much more fun to travel with others. So we went about an hour early, which leads us to the tip number 1. Go early and get an understanding of the surrounding. If you want to buy merchandise, you have to arrive before it opens. The queue is very long and items sell out really quickly. Now, regarding the sponsor booth, the first one was Mercedes-Benz, where you could take a picture with the trophy carrier. They also had a game where you can jump to get a lucky draw at a gachapon machine. One of the awards was a free ticket to Worlds, which I literally saw someone next to me win. There was also an 8-hour activation for more photo opportunities. So do go to FanFest even if you do not have a ticket, just to get the experience, and you might even have a chance to win something out of expectation. Next, I visited the Red Bull booth where they handed out the free Red Bull and had gaming stations. Now there was also a photo area and I got some instant photo taken. Then we have Secretlabs where you can see the world's gaming chairs from the past few years. And Omen had a gaming experience where you could hold the weapon of different champions to play with it. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough time so that I was unable to film it. Now some of the activations provided a ticket to play with a claw machine, but since the queue was too long, I didn't go. Finally, there was also an Apple booth which features some product displays and performances, but I didn't have the time to visit. Now as you can see in this whole video, I tried to film as much as I could, but I was unable to do everything. The reason for that is that although I arrived early, the merchandise queue took some time to open up, and it was a long one, so that consumed a majority of my time. And the different type of activations and games that you can play at the FanFest do take up some time, so you have to plan before you go there. Now, personally, I think that regardless of whether you have a Worlds ticket or not, you should definitely check out a FanFest. For a free event, I think it is pretty good. But for me personally, I wish that there were more activations, since I saw that there was a concert in Korea in 2023. And when I look at the promotions that League of Legends and Netflix did for Arcane, I kind of wish that there were more lore-related activations. Now, the wide experience at the FanFest was playing ARAM preview with Bridge of Progress map. And that was pretty much it. But I think it is understandable since this is a more esports focused event rather than a League of Legends storytelling event, and it is really a place to showcase the sponsors as well. There was also a Baron Bite activation where they took over a fast food restaurant, but unfortunately I wasn't in London to document it by then. Now, I really like FanFest because the vibes are really nice. You could see cosplayers and you can meet people who are genuinely excited about League of Legends esports. And if you don't mind watching the finals online while traveling, you could play the games until the last minute just to see if you have a chance to win a finals ticket. So I'm not sure if in the future FanFest will have like a ticket as an award or that you can win, but if there is, might as well try your luck. Now moving on to the actual experience, for which I paid 10 times the amount. So here are some context. Personally, I grew up watching League of Legends Worlds opening. It is the event that I would watch devotedly every year just to see the latest stage design and also production that's happening on a world-class level. Now, to be honest, in the past I've seen openings with a much higher production value, but I do want to say that this one is also very world class. And I think that it is a truly remarkable experience. It is definitely worthwhile at least going to one of the League of Legends World Finals to watch the opening ceremony. And one of the things that I really appreciated was you can hear the fans scream and you can watch the performers live, right? For me, one of the motivations for me to buy the ticket was actually Linkin Park, because to a certain extent this is a kind of like a comeback for Linkin Park, right? Coming back with a new lineup, new songs like Heavy is the Crown, right? And Linkin Park is a band that I grew up with, and so this is another push for me to buy the ticket. Now, I have edited some of the performances here, but I kept them short since I don't want to trigger any copyright issues, and I'm only sharing them for educational purposes.
Nothing ever stays dead. With my cold hands, the shapes I used to.
Besides the performances, we also had the team walk-ins, and the crowd just went wild. And throughout the whole experience, when I was in the O2 Arena, I had several people ask me which team I was supporting, right? And I said, personally, I just wanted 5 games so that I could just stay longer at the event venue and just to experience this firsthand in person. And having 5 out of 5 games would mean the teams are really fighting tooth and nail for the championship title. Now, after this whole experience, I've learned that the creative platform or slogan "Make Them Believe" is not mainly just about the game itself, but it is really about the player and why they're doing this and why they dedicate the whole entire career in esports gaming. So for me, I was extremely happy when it was a 5 out of 5 game. And I think that BLG did really well, and T1 did really well turning the game around. Personally, I kind of want to see China bring the World Championship title to China, because next year in 2025 it's going to be in Chengdu. But at the same time, I watched Faker grow up to become who he is, right? So I kind of saw him progress, and I also played the Hall of Fame activation on League of Legends earlier this year. So I kind of had a mixed feeling. But I want both teams to do really well, which I think they did. So I'm not sure if you noticed, for me, my seat was literally at the top of the venue. You can even see the ceiling in my video, but I was very lucky because there was a big screen towards my angle so I could see the game clearly. It's really hard to see the main screen, but if you have a seating angle where you can see those smaller screens, it actually helps a lot. So I would highly suggest you, if you have a chance to buy a ticket where you can choose the seat, try to see if you can find references in the past venues, how they are seated, how the screens are positioned, and try to find a place that you can see it better. Now, unlike watching online, one thing I really liked was that you could hear the cheering and frustrations of thousands of fans, and you are also one of them. Now, you also even had this thing called a Pix Mob that lit up the whole venue when there was a dragon or a baron kill, or maybe even a pentakill, something that you only experience in the live environment. So with all of this was for me hands down one of the best finals that I have seen. Now, moving on to merchandise. I procrastinated a bit before making this video because I was thinking of how to make it in a way that I could add more value for my viewers. So I'm really excited to be unboxing this with you. So on the screen you can see what merchandise are available. Personally, I got the World's 2024 work jacket, the World's 2024 London tee, and also the World's 2024 extra large mouse pad. So they are all limited edition, which I think is why the prices are on the higher end. And there was also a really nice Linkin Park Worlds 2024 black tee that I really wanted, but unfortunately it's sold out. So this is the merchandise that I brought at the venue, and so one of the tips that I wanted to share with you is to arrive at the venue early, because these merchandise do get sold out really quickly and the line is usually really long. So without further ado, let us unbox the first one. This is the Worlds 2024 work jacket. It is still in the plastic cover. I have not opened it before, so I'm doing this on the video right now. So it feels really nice to finally open this after several months of procrastination. So as you can see, this is the 2024 Worlds work jacket. They also have the slogan that I talked about, make them believe here. So the quality, really nice zippers, right? Okay, here it is. The next one is the t-shirt, okay? So one of the reasons why I bought this t-shirt is because it has London in it, right? For me, for this trip is my first time to London. Now, I didn't go to London because of Worlds. I actually have another event, so that was also one of the motivations for me to get the ticket because I'm already there. So that could also be a consideration for you. So this is the Worlds t-shirt. You have Diego here. So I think he and Lux are the two champions being featured in the hero image of Worlds. So that's why I wanted to have him as well for the t-shirt. And then we have Lux. So make them believe. And Lux is actually here, okay? Worlds 2024, and this is the extra large mouse pad. And I really like how this year's theme is very, like you can see Europe throughout the whole hero image, the banner. So I think that's also one of the reasons why I bought this. And I can finally replace this one, which is a Valorant 2022 Champions mousepad. Now there's actually a final merchandise that I can share with you, which is a beanie hat from Mastercard. So back then when we were lining up at the merchandise venue, the merchandise venue is actually supported by Mastercard. They had people throwing these out, so I was very lucky enough to catch one of them. In summary, these are the merchandise that I've got. And I also have this Worlds bag, right? And I also have the photos that I just showed you just now and the pics marks with stamp. Now going back to my thoughts of the Worlds experience, if you ask me whether I think it is worth paying 10 times more for a ticket, I can immediately tell you that it is never worth buying a ticket for such an outrageous price. And to be honest, I have to share with you that the whole ticketing experience cost me a lot of heartache and headache. I don't want this to be taken in the wrong way, but I do want to share some constructive feedback. Personally, I was there early for the different waves of ticket sales. I even stayed up till midnight because of the time zone differences, just to try to buy a ticket officially. But every time, after lining up virtually, all the tickets were sold out when I get into the purchase platform. And more tickets appeared on the secondary market, and that is a terrible, terrible feeling for a fan who's really looking forward to this. Now don't get me wrong, I really appreciated how Riot Games took action to get people to use the Summoner's ID to register for the final wave of ticket sales, but I wish that the overall experience could have been better. As someone who's a huge fan that really wanted to see it live, there was even a time where all tickets were not transferable, which they were transferable a few days before the event. So there was a lot of stress, there was a lot of headache on thinking how to acquire a ticket just to watch the Worlds finals. Now personally, I struggled a lot whether I should buy the ticket secondhand. I was reading on Reddit, seeing how people were telling others to not buy secondhand tickets because it encourages the secondhand market, right? I even tried to reach out to so-called legit community members on Reddit who said they might have an extra ticket, but it seems that most of them were scammers, because what I wanted to do is that I really wanted to find someone who accidentally bought an extra ticket and maybe buy that ticket from them. But they are actual people, right? Not people who are trying to benefit from the second-hand market. But ultimately, because of the reasons that I told you, I happened to be in London at that time, and because I've been watching Worlds on a screen, I do want to have this once-in-a-lifetime experience, so I had no choice but to resort to buying that ticket. So what I did is that right before flying to London, I bought my ticket during the midnight on a second-hand platform. And after, when I arrived in London, it was actually very stressful because I'm not sure if they're going to transfer the ticket to me. And I only brought it once they confirmed that you can transfer the ticket. And the only way I know this was on Reddit. So I wanted to share another quick tip with you, is that it really helps to go to the low esports subreddit because you can see the collective experiences of other people. and you can see, the ticketing situation, what people are facing. Oh, transfer has been enabled and so on, so that you can kind of strategize accordingly. And never ever buy a ticket without a third-party involvement. Okay, you could get scammed really easily. There are numerous of scammers that I reach out to on Reddit, and I found out that they're scammers. So never buy tickets through Reddit, but use Reddit as an information channel for you. Okay, so I also wanted to shout out to someone named Vicky on Reddit who opened a WhatsApp group. So unfortunately I was unable to meet that person in person, but I met other fans from Singapore, like XJ. We had dinner, hearing other fans share about the experience of going to other worlds was really great. During the event, it is so important to have a flow of information about the merchandise line, and also the meetups, and also the different type of things that you would not be able to find out without a WhatsApp group. But also be careful, there might be scammers, there's spammers as well. So another quick tip for you is that if you are a solo traveler like myself, going to an event like this, if there's a WhatsApp group or whatever, feel free to join that as an information channel. But always be cautious, don't get scammed, don't buy tickets without a third-party platform involvement. And at best, only resort that to a last resort. That is for me the last and least desirable resort. If I could, I would love to buy first-hand tickets, and hopefully next year in China, Chengdu, the ticketing situation would improve. So this was my experience at Worlds 2024 finals, and I'll really leave it up to you to decide whether the ticket was worth it or not. But all I know that I went on solo queue, but left with fans who share the same passion in LOL and also esports. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this content, remember to like, follow, subscribe on my social platforms, and hopefully see you in the next one. I hope that you find this information helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comment box below. I'll try my best to share more of my experience with you by then. And so see you in the next video.